Yo, what's cracking, everyone? What's doing? I'm really gonna watch how many times I say It's a really bad habit because I'm trying to articulate myself better. I'm trying to articulate myself better. I don't even know if that makes sense. Whatever. I'm trying to be more articulate is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, welcome to my first vlog. And this came about by piggybacking off of Spanians into the hood, coming to Prahran, St Kilda, and the other areas around. Basically, before I get into it, let me introduce myself for those that are new to me. For everyone that's following me, obviously you guys know me, but which isn't a lot of people. But for those of you that don't know me, I go by the name of Little Jase, Little Jase. I'm a rapper from Melbourne, Prahran. That's what I've been representing in St Kilda. For over 2 decades, I've been representing hip-hop, rap, my hood, my culture, Filipinos, and that's me, basically in a nutshell. And I have wanted to vlog for a very long time. I just haven't been able to get around to it due to a lot of things, which I won't get into right now. I won't get into it right now. I'll save that for potentially another video. But this is all about my experience doing Into the Hood. I did it with Spanian. I think no one's done that yet. For everybody that's probably did an Into the Hood with Spanian locally, right, in Australia. So I thought that'll be my first episode, and I can piggyback off the back of that episode. So that's what I wanted to do here, is go through my experience of Into the Hood and what it was like working with Spanian and meeting him. And that's the purpose of this vlog. So let's get into it. So now that I've introduced myself, got that out the way. By the way, if you have just found me on YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram. I got a Facebook page. Obviously, if you dive into my stuff on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. But let's get into the first point, which is how this opportunity came to me. Okay, so I've got some notes here, so I don't forget. And wouldn't be Melbourne without a. Is that focused? So how this opportunity came to me. I first need to explain my connection with Spanian, which is due to my friendship with Colombia. For those of you that know Spanian, you'll know that his best mate is Colombia. You've seen him on the Haunted series. You've seen him on other things. There's so much ants and stuff here. Anyway, I'm best mates with Colombia as well, and we've been friends since, I would say, 2007, 2008, roughly around then. So that's nearly 15 years. That's how long me and Colombia have known each other for. When Colombia went to jail down here in Melbourne, I looked after him, tried to connect him with some people, and yeah, took care of him as best as I could while he was locked up here in Melbourne. So me and Colombia have a lot of history. We're best mates, and I speak to him still regularly. So that's my connection. Obviously back then in 2008, I didn't know who Spanian was. Colombia would never have mentioned them. There was no need. Obviously, Spanian was doing jail at that time. And so, yeah, he was not, I didn't know him, and he was never mentioned. So fast forward up until, I forgot when it was, but when Spanian came home after his, I think, 7-year bid, he started rapping as Crooked Hypnotics, and Jono, Colombia, would send me videos. I think Jono was shooting the videos for Spanian. And because I'd been doing it for quite a long time, nearly 2 decades right now, but you know, I really started pursuing my rap career around 2003, where I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. And then in 2005, I really was like, nah, this is what I'm going to do. So whenever that time was when Spanian came back, I'm already deep into the rap game. I've gone a long way into it. So he's sending me, Colombia is sending me songs and videos from him, and I'm going, yeah, sick, that's mad. He's raw as fuck, he's sick. So that was my first introduction to Spanian, and his name wasn't Spanian at the time, it was Crooked Hypnotics. And then I actually think there was this bit between like Spaniard and Spanian, like as he has documented, where he ended up going with Spanian. So, and I've seen him from like no followers to take off to where he is now. So that's my entire, I just saw something, I gotta go grab this. Welcome to the hood, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the hood. Someone cleaned out their baggie, you know what I mean? That's not mine, ladies and gentlemen, just FYI. For the feds that are watching. Anyway, back to my history. So I had actually done some business with Spanian a couple of years ago, where I connected him with a mate and they did some business together. And I had a relationship with Spanian's manager. So they reached out to me, which his manager did. So for everyone that like doesn't know, like Spanian's not on his social media hardcore. He lives his life, he produces content, and he's very present in the real world, and his team takes care of a lot of the stuff. So it's going to be very hard for you to communicate with Spanian. The guy keeps a very small circle, and you deal a lot with his manager, and that's how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, everyone would be pulling him left, right, and center, and it wouldn't work. So his manager's great. So we had a relationship. Now, the way it came about was a good mate of mine was, I won't mention his name, good mate of mine was overseas with his manager. He mentioned to my mate that they wanted to do Prahran, etc., etc. And my mate reminded them that, bro, you got to go with Jase. Like, the guy's Mr. Prahran. Like, that's who you got to go with for that area. And they're like, oh, yeah, shit, we do. From there, I got hit up, and that's how it came about. And I was like, yeah, no worries. Now, I really had a massive challenge in front of me, because I had my plea hearing. I had to go to court for my plea hearing on Feb 29, and they wanted to do it the day after, which was the 1st of March. And there was a high likelihood, according to my lawyers, my lawyer and barrister, that I was going to get remanded. I was going to get remanded that day and held until sentencing. So I was like, fuck, like, I'm going to miss out on this. And long story short, I pushed, spent some money, I pushed to get an adjournment. Judge was not happy. At the end of it, I got it, right? Reluctantly, the judge was fuming, and she said she was fuming, and she also said she was reluctant to give it, but she's going to give it due to some other things that I've been working on, which is an event. And my lawyer was like, I thought she was going to remand you right there and then. That's how upset she was. So I just got by the, you know, skin on my hair. I just came through on the clutch. God came through and delivered and blessed me with the opportunity to not only do that, but to work on the other thing that I was working on. So I actually went to court, and they got me an adjournment, which is the last adjournment. There's not going to be any more adjournments after that. I've been fighting this case since 2020. 3 years I've been fighting. So anyway, I was a bit like, I was anxious about it, you know, because I'm like, man, like I've worked so hard and long to be able to put myself in a position where I could get on a platform like this. There's not many platforms that I can align myself with, because I'm really from the hood. I'm really from the bottom, right? The struggle. And not a lot of people in this industry, namely the hip hop industry, not a lot of people are really, like, I can count them on one hand. Most of them are middle class. Most of them are from no struggle. Most of them just like hip hop and hip hop culture and hood culture just because it's cool, but they don't have any idea of what it really is and what it truly means and its value, you know? So I don't get along with a lot of the industry just because a lot of it's fake, and I don't do fake. So I nearly missed out due to my plea hearing, but thank God I was able to come to do it. He allowed it to happen. So I actually got it moved. We decided to get it moved to the Sunday. Okay, so because we couldn't do it on the Friday, and I moved it to the March 3rd. So that's when we done it. Now, once I got that out the way, I actually invited all the heads, all Prahran boys and girls. I put out a post so that it would reach the people it needed to reach. Obviously, I'm in contact with certain Prahran boys that I could just reach out to, and that's what I did, because you got to understand that there's a lot of history, there's a lot of eras. It's not just, I'm just one era, you know. We're talking about 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, probably even further back. Excuse me. And I knew that certain people would, you know, there'd be people that feel a certain way, like, what does Jase get to do this, you know, or whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'm trying to invite everybody. And that's just the kind of person that I am. I always try to include everybody. I'm a team player. I'm not someone that's selfish. I'm not someone that just wants to keep blessings for himself. None of that. That's just never been me. A lot of people are like that. They just want to do it all themselves. They don't want to share the blessings. That's not me. I always want to give back, because I never forget where I come from, and I want to have an impact, and I want to influence, and I want to make a change. So I extend those blessings, right? I'm extending it. Not everyone reciprocated it, you know. Not everybody felt a positive way about it, and that's on them. And I'm gonna make a separate video about that, as to why certain people felt a certain way about it, right? There's many reasons why I think that is. I won't go into that now. Yeah, so not everyone saw that as a positive, not everyone saw Spanian coming to Prahran as a good thing. They didn't see it as a positive thing, which is unfortunate, because it shows really where they are and how narrow-minded and how maybe even whitewashed or middle-class washed they've become. Because this is people that are supposed to also be from the bottom. They're from the struggle. They've, you know, some of these people actually lived in these flats that just didn't want to be a part of it. And for the life of me, I don't understand why, because it's all positive. You know, how I saw it was having someone like Spanian, who's made it from the bottom, just like us. He climbed out, he became successful, he overcame the odds, and now he's coming back, not just to our hood, but to several other hoods. What that does for the people in these places, it inspires them, it gives them hope, it motivates them. That's what it does. And so to not allow Spanian to come to these places, it deprives them of hope, inspiration, motivation. That's what it does. Because you would be robbing them of that. Having someone like Spanian come here gives people from the hood, from the bottom, from the struggle, permission to actually dream. That's what it does. It gives them permission to dream. And a lot of us from the bottom don't know how to dream. Everything seems so far away. Everything seems so impossible. Everything's just like, yeah, right, man, that's not gonna happen. Like, you're fucking dreaming, you know what I mean? Like, that's bullshit. Like, and so to have someone like Spanian, and they see him, these kids, not even kids, yeah, Kids first, yeah, cool, but like you might have like a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old that's still stuck in whatever situation, drugs, crime, whatever. They can still look to Spanian as someone as like, man, he turned it around. It's never too late. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I could be a YouTuber. Maybe I could rap. Maybe I could dream. Maybe it's okay for me to dream. Maybe I don't need to listen to these people that laugh at me if I decide to dream, because they're doing it. Jase is doing it. They're doing great things. This is all positive. The only thing that I can think of is that people don't want the truth of the hood to be told because it looks bad. It doesn't, if the truth is the truth. People can perceive it. You can't please everyone. People can perceive it the way they want to perceive it. The point of Into the Hood isn't to go in and make things look bad. If they just look bad, you can't do anything about that, Into the Hood or not. If I take this camera right now and walk around and you understand? Does this make the hood look bad? This is here, man. And it's just a little baggie. You know, so you can't just, people don't want to face the truth. They don't want to see the hood, right? Because it makes them feel uncomfortable, right? They don't want to hear or see the truth because it's confronting, right? They just want to live in their home and away neighbor's life with their problems that aren't even problems compared to everybody in here that has real problems. And here's just a side note that I want to say. Perspective is power. I don't know why people are like this, but this bugs me. I always use perspective to downgrade my struggles. No matter what I'm going through, I always think about something else and I go, you know what, I'm grateful because it could be worse. I'm facing jail sentence, right? I'm facing a jail sentence. But Jase, would you rather face a jail sentence or a death sentence? Would you rather be told that you need to serve 3 years in jail, or you have 3 months till you die? Well, when you put it in that regards, I'm like, man, jail sentence all day, give me 3 years. What are you talking about? And that makes me feel great because I think about how worse it could be. It could be a lot worse. But see, then other people are like, yeah, but don't allow like someone else's harder struggle to diminish your struggle because it's still your struggle. Why the wouldn't you want to diminish your struggle so that you could feel good? That's the point of it. You're supposed to use perspective to diminish your struggle so you can feel good and go, you know what, it's not that bad, I feel great actually now that you say it like that. As opposed to like, oh yeah, that makes me, oh, but now you're pulling me out of depression and you're pulling me out of like feeling bad about myself. And I don't want to diminish that. So let me continue to go down this path of thinking my struggle is really bad so I can sit here in this puddle of badness. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's a side note. Just thought I'd mention that. So yeah, not everyone saw it as a positive thing, and I'm going to get into a much deeper video as to why, because it's a big gripe of mine, you know. And it was a big responsibility to tell Prahran, St Kilda, South Melbourne, Windsor, other areas around people in like 3.5 hours. That's a big responsibility. It took it out of me. And I really wanted certain people to be there. There was a handful of certain people that I wanted to be there. And they couldn't make it, or they just said whatever, they couldn't come. And I didn't feel supported. To tell you the truth, I didn't feel supported because I thought that they made it about themselves, and that's how it came about. You know, it felt like it was more about them as opposed to, hey man, I just need you to support me on this one. Or not even that, support your hood, you know? That's how I felt about it. I didn't feel supported. by certain people. Now, if you didn't see certain people in the video, if you know some Prahran boys or you know people and you didn't see certain people in the video, you can ask them. You can ask them yourself why they didn't. Because I haven't really, I mean, I've had one conversation with one of the boys and, you know, we had a good talk. And, you know, I told him, you know, I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel supported. I just told him how I felt, you know, but we got down to the bottom of it and it was all love. But, you know, there are some people that didn't come, and you can ask them. If you know them, you can ask them, you know. So after it, I ended up getting into, you know, more conversations with people that couldn't make it, didn't know about it, you know, so, which was unfortunate. And yeah, that's leading into what I kind of want to go into at the end. So what was my experience like? My experience was great, man. Everyone that did come had a great time. Everyone loved it. It was positive vibes. It was amazing. It was a really good day. Nothing bad. There was no negative feedback from anybody that was with us during that time of guiding Spanian through a couple of the hoods. How was Spanian? Spanian's a gentleman, man. Spanian's just like one of the boys, easy to get along with. He's just a mad cunt. That's it. Like, he's just, you know, he's a marketing genius behind that camera, even in front of the camera, but he's just down to earth. Obviously, he's a marketing genius, so he'll do things to just, you know, spark the algorithms. He's definitely always being him, but he understands that he knows how to work social media, and that's something I'm learning, you know. I'm learning from him. And yeah, he was just a gentleman. It was great, man, and I wish we had more time, but you know, he was obviously tired, exhausted as well. He'd done Melton the day before, so yeah, the day was great. Everyone, I try to give everyone their you know, their 15 minutes of fame. I try to include as many people as I could. I try to put on for Prahran. I try to put on for Chapel Street. And I try to tell our history. It wasn't about being gangster. It wasn't about trying to prove myself to be like, I'm a hectic cunt and look at me, I'm a gangster. It wasn't none of that. It was just about me going, hey man, these are our stories. This is where I grew up. This is how things came about. This is our history. This is what it was like back in the day. And mind you, for people that are like, oh, Prahran's not a hood and Prahran's not this, if you're 12 years old or you're 15 years old or you're 18 or you're 21 or you're 25 or whatever, you can't talk on it. You can't speak on it. You were not from our era. You don't know what it was like back in the day. Anyone who's in their late 30s onwards understands what Prahran was like back in the days. No one's disputing, no one's arguing, okay, that Prahran's not the same anymore. We all know that. Everybody knows that. No one's arguing that. It's knocked, half of this place is knocked down right now. I'm looking at it. Still sad. One of my best mates, one of my best mates, still to this day, he's, you know, I had so much memories then. It's just knocked down. And it's sad. 3 of my best mates in here, you know, in these walk-ups, they're knocked down. So, you know, no one's disputing that fact. It's quiet as. Look at this. You can hear the birds chirping. So our episode wasn't about revving engines and smashing cunts and doing burnouts here and there and da-da-da-da. That wasn't my intention. That's not what I came out to do. I came to tell our story, and it's about time. To be honest, I've been representing my hood, Prahran, St Kilda for nearly 20 years. And that's why, for me, it was a big opportunity. A lot of people didn't see it like that. They were selfish, they saw other things. But if they saw it for what it was, it's like, man, Jase finally has an opportunity to get on a big platform, the biggest platform he's ever been on, okay? The biggest platform he's ever been on, that aligns with his brand, a hood brand. He's always representing the hood. Spanian's on fire right now. This is going to be great for him. I'm going to come out and I'm going to support him. You know what? Regardless of how I feel or how the story in my head or whatever I'm thinking about this, I'm going to come out and support Jase. Because you know what? One, he's going through a difficult time with his court case, and this might be something that is going to go in his favor, right? That's how it was. This is a big opportunity for me. I'm able to receive that blessing, that extension that Spanian gave. He didn't have to come to this hood. He didn't have to do nothing. Spanian doesn't have to go to any hood. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to go to no hood. And so I knew, I'm like, man, this is a big opportunity for me, first and foremost, and then everybody around me, and then my hood. But I don't think they saw it exactly like that. And I think that if they watch this, they're going to understand. They're going to go, oh, okay, actually, I didn't see it like that. Jay's been grinding for nearly 2 decades. He finally gets in a position to take advantage of a platform that aligns with his brand, because there really isn't most of these brands online that are in the hip-hop scene or claim to be from the culture, from the streets, from the hood, from hip-hop. Because don't get it twisted. Hip-hop comes from the bottom. It comes from the hood. It comes from the struggle. This whole industry of Australia and Melbourne, it's all coming from middle class. They don't know struggle. They don't really know hip hop like that. That's why they don't want to hear my opinion. That's why they don't want to play my music. It's too real for them. It's too raw. It's too confronting. They don't understand it. They're like, I don't relate to that. I grew up with 2 parents. I grew up with, silver spoons in my mouth. Like, what's that? Anyway, that's a different video of my thoughts on Australian hip hop. But where was I going with that? Basically, no one's disputing the fact that Prahran's not what it was. And a lot of hoods are like that. A lot, not just Prahran. So, what's my plan? In the short time that I have before I get locked up, I want to do some more vlogs. Off the back of this is the first episode. I want to unpack more, maybe a few key stories, because I don't have long, and see how that goes, and try to go off the back of Into the Hood, So I thought this will be the first episode, basically my experience doing Into the Hood. Hey, I'm little Jase. I did Into the Hood with Spanian. This is how it went. This is how it came about. This is what I plan to do with it. So I still plan to obviously do my music. That's what I love to do, regardless if I get paid for it or not. I mean, I don't really get paid for it, so obviously I love it enough to do it. And but I'm going to continue to build my brand, my personal brand, and be an expert in my field, the hood, the streets, and other stuff amongst that. And once I've done my time and I come out, I just plan to pick up right where I left off and continue on. And who knows where the world will be in 2-3 years. But yeah, that's my plan. That's my story, guys. If you want more stories about Prahran, St Kilda, Balaclava, South Melbourne, Port Melbourne, just my area, chuck in the comments, yeah, we want that, or nah, we don't want that, whatever. And even if you say I don't want that, I'm gonna still do it anyway. So that's what I plan to do. Unpack more stories, more things about the area that I grew up in and the surrounding suburbs, and put on for us. I'm not really going to go into any other hood. That's not my plan. Spanian's already doing that. But I thought, you know what? There's way more history that we can go into that is not into the hood, right? It's only 3 hours that we were together. But if I can just start pumping out stories from my hood, I think that'll be cool. I'll share that. And if you guys want to see more of that, like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff, and leave whatever in the comments. If you got some comments, good or bad, doesn't matter. It all gets the algorithm going, and I don't take nothing personal. Everyone's a keyboard warrior. So if you want to get your keyboard warrior on, go for it. But that's it. All right, guys, till the next video. Peace. Hi, it's me again. It's that guy. It's me, the Bruce, or whatever. Anyway, I just actually wanted to do a little vlog ski. Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, it's quiet as. Like, there's no way, back in the days, this wouldn't have been a thing. Like, there would definitely be people drinking here. right? There'd be people drinking here, 100%, you know. There'd be boys here kicking back. I wouldn't have been able to just do my vlog without getting interrupted. So it's really quiet, it's really peaceful. Yeah, and it's just not the same anymore, you know? And you know, it's kind of sad, it's kind of good. Obviously, it feels like it's a lot less active. And you know, that's just how it is. But man, can you imagine like 100 people on this hill, all from the surrounding suburbs, just here drinking, punching on with each other because not everyone gets along, just running amok, you know? And then going out onto Chapel Street, people getting into arguments, punching on, everyone running onto Chapel. Like, it was hectic, man, you know? It was just really bustling, and now it's just quiet as. But I just also want to point out, give me a sec. Oh, maybe I should do this. No, maybe I should not. Actually, I'll turn this. So, I mean, if you can see all there, man, all there, they knocked all of this down. And lucky I actually have done video. One of my last video clips I did was in those walk-ups. So I'm glad I still have that. And yeah, that's that. But yeah, guys, for now, just walked into a spider web. See, when you're bold, you feel everything. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. What I might start to do, so I think I might do some reaction videos. I'm saying it here first, just so if anyone starts doing it, I might start reacting. I might react firstly to to the Prahran Into the Hood. I think that's a good thing. I might do that, something a little bit different. Not too different, but I don't know anyone that's doing it right now. And then what I might do is, yeah, I might do something like that. Anyway, I'll figure it out. All right, guys. Peace.